안녕하세요.
After the conversation with Ju Hyun, Soo-bin couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. She felt confused, lost in her own emotions. On one hand, she wanted to be honest with herself and explore what she felt for Ju Hyun. But on the other hand, the external pressure, what it would mean for her career, her reputation, and her position, was overwhelming. She knew that, as the CEO's employee, any misstep could be disastrous for her image. In the weeks that followed, things only got more complicated. Ju Hyun, despite suggesting they take some time apart, wasn't willing to give up so easily. He started seeking her out more frequently, especially when they were away from the team's watchful eyes. It was no longer just the appreciative glances from before. Now, there was an unspoken desire in his gaze, an intensity in his voice that she could hardly ignore. One afternoon, while she was working at her desk, Ju Hyun appeared at her office door once again. "Soo-bin," he started without any hesitation. "I need to talk to you." Soo-bin looked up at him, her heart pounding faster. "Yes, sir? I can't keep pretending this is just work," he said, closing the door behind him. "I know you feel something, and I do too. We can't ignore this anymore." She sighed, feeling the weight pressing against her chest. "I already told you, Ju Hyun, we can't do this. The consequences would be too great for both of us." He watched her for a moment, his eyes scanning every detail of her face. "I don't care about the consequences. I can't keep moving forward without knowing if there's something real between us." What he said struck her deeply, but she knew she couldn't give in so easily. There was too much at stake. "This isn't just about us, Ju Hyun. There's the company, your family, everything you've built." The tension in the room thickened, the silence between them growing heavier. Ju Hyun looked at her, frustration and longing mingling in his gaze. "I don't want to lose you," he whispered. A shiver ran down Soo-bin's spine. She knew that what was being said wasn't just empty words. It was a truth he was struggling to accept. And deep down, she felt it too. But at that moment, the office door swung open abruptly. It was Ju Hyun's personal assistant, looking concerned. "Sir, your mother is on the line. She wants to speak with you immediately." Ju Hyun quickly stepped away from Soo-bin, reverting to his usual CEO demeanor. He glanced at her for a brief moment, his eyes filled with regret. I have to take this. I'm sorry." Soo-bin remained there, watching as he left, feeling a mixture of relief and frustration. He wasn't ready to face what he felt, and neither was she. But the truth was, she knew things couldn't stay like this forever. As Ju Hyun walked out of the room, she let out a quiet sigh of relief. But the whirlwind of emotions inside her didn't fade. At any moment, he could return to finish what they had started. And when that happened, she knew she would have to make a decision that would change both of their lives, forever. The conference room was filled with a tense silence. Ju Hyun entered with firm steps, feeling the piercing gazes of the board members. His father sat at the head of the table, his expression cold and calculating. "You finally arrived," his father said, crossing his arms. "We need to discuss the future of this company, and yours." Ju Hyun held his ground. "I'm listening." One of the senior shareholders cleared his throat. "We are already aware of your involvement with an employee. Your mother has made it clear that you are making questionable choices. The company needs stability, Ju Hyun." His father leaned forward, his gaze severe. "If you want to continue as CEO, you will have to end that relationship immediately." There was a time when Ju Hyun might have hesitated, but now his decision was clear. He took a deep breath, meeting the eyes of every board member before speaking. "If my happiness is a problem for the company, then maybe I shouldn't be leading it." Shock spread across the room. Murmurs broke out among the shareholders. His father frowned. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying that I refuse to be manipulated. I've spent my entire life living up to your expectations. But there comes a time when a man must choose what truly matters. And for me, that choice is Soo-bin." Silence filled the room. His father clenched his teeth, but Ju Hyun noticed something different in his eyes. Perhaps a flicker of respect. "So you're willing to throw everything away for that girl?" "I'm not throwing anything away. I'm just prioritizing my happiness." The board was divided. Some feared this could destabilize the company, but others began to recognize Ju Hyun's firmness as the trait of a true leader. Surprisingly, his mother, who had always opposed the relationship, stood up and took a deep breath before saying, "If he is this determined, perhaps we should trust that he knows what he's doing." His father remained silent for a long moment. Then, to everyone's surprise, he sighed heavily and leaned back in his chair. "Do whatever you want, but if this fails, don't expect me to take you back." Ju Hyun gave a faint smile. "That's a risk I'm willing to take." 2 years later, spring painted Seoul with vibrant colors. The sun bathed the gardens of a grand banquet hall, where family and friends gathered to celebrate. Ju Hyun adjusted his suit as he looked in the mirror. He was still a CEO, but now he managed the company on his own terms, without being bound by his family's rigid rules. And more importantly, he was about to get married. Across the hall, Subin wore a traditional hanbok, smiling at her reflection with eyes full of happiness. She was no longer just an employee, she was a strong, independent woman, ready to begin a new chapter with the man she loved. The music started, and all eyes turned to the entrance, where Subin walked slowly toward the altar. Ju Hyun felt his heart race. In that moment, nothing else mattered. Not the challenges, not the hardships, only her. As they stood face to face, he whispered, "I told you, I would choose you." She smiled, holding his hand tightly, "And I never doubted you." With their vows exchanged and a kiss sealing their love, applause filled the hall. And so, against all odds, they wrote their own love story, proving that, in the end, love always wins. Night had fallen over Seoul by the time Ju Hyun finally ended his call with his mother. He had spent the last 2 hours listening to a series of arguments, subtle threats, and relentless reminders of his duty as the company's heir. Her firm voice echoed in his mind. "You have a responsibility. That girl, she will never be accepted. You need to choose between the company and this distraction." He closed his eyes for a moment, massaging his temples. The pressure grew heavier with each passing day. But amidst the weight of expectations, one truth had become clear: he no longer wanted to live a life that wasn't truly his. The next morning, as he arrived at the office, Ju Hyun spotted Subin in the conference room, sorting through a stack of documents. His heartbeat quickened at the sight of her, but he knew he had to remain composed. He stepped forward, and she glanced up at him, surprised. "We need to talk," he said, his voice softer than he intended. Subin hesitated for a moment before nodding. "Here? Number the rooftop." She knew it was the only place where they could speak without interruptions. With a discreet nod, she followed him to the top of the building, where the cool night air wrapped around them. Ju Hyun gazed out at the city lights, as if searching for courage in the illuminated skyline. "My mother called last night. She knows about us, or at least she suspects." Subin took a deep breath. "And what does that mean?" "It means she wants me to choose." He turned to face her. "And I chose you." Her heart stopped for a second. "What?" "I'm not going to keep living this life if I can't be with you. I know this could cost me my position, maybe even the company. But what's the point of having everything if I can't be happy?" She blinked, stunned. "You can't just throw everything away because of me, Ju Hyun. Your company, your family. My company will find another leader. My mother will have to adapt, but I can't replace what I feel for you." The silence that followed was heavy, filled with emotions neither of them dared to voice. Subin felt her eyes well up with tears. "I don't want to be the reason you lose everything." He smiled, lightly touching her hand. "You're not the reason. You're the one thing that makes me feel like I'm truly living." She felt the weight of the moment, and for the first time she allowed herself to imagine a future with him. But reality loomed over them like a shadow. "Ju Hyun, what if this all falls apart? What if? We're not going to live on what ifs. We're going to live on certainties, and the only certainty I have right now is that I love you." His words shattered the last bit of resistance she had left. Subin closed her eyes, letting herself feel the sincerity in his voice. But before she could respond, the rooftop door swung open abruptly. "Mr. Ju Hyun," his personal assistant rushed in, breathless. "Your father wants to see you immediately. Something happened with the board of directors." Ju Hyun's body tensed. He looked at Subin, and though no words were exchanged, she understood exactly what this meant. The battle was just beginning.
You're my eternal gloom, a rose that breaks the gloom. In your arms I'm home, never again alone. With every